I give to charities. 7 is like you always give money, like, you know, and 0 is like never. So World Vision, you know, a Red Cross, buskers on the side of the road, sausage sizzle, stuff like that. Just come a bit closer, bro. Like what?
Streeties.
Streeties, yeah. You give money to Streeties. 7 is like you always give a bit of money. Okay. What was your name, bro?
Isaac.
Isaac. Hey, that's a good name from the Bible too, man. Can I ask your name too, bro?
Joel.
Joel?
Reed.
Joel and Mel. And who's this young man here?
I'm Chris.
G'day, Chris. Good to meet you, mate. Okay, Isaac, if I do it with you, and you guys mind watching, is that okay? Is that alright, Isaac?
Yeah, sure.
Good, mate. I pray. 0's like, g'day, mate. Come and have a look at this. I'm Julian. What's your name?
John.
G'day, John. Okay.
Baptist.
John the Baptist. Well done. Okay, here we go. I pray. 0's like you've never prayed in your whole life. 7's like you pray quite often, Isaac.
Oh, definitely have to be 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. I help strangers.
Oh, that's a 7.
I was going to give you a 7 for helping me, man. That's awesome. Okay. I read the Bibles.
Yeah.
7. You read it often?
Every day.
Yeah.
Do you?
Every day.
Are you two married?
No, not yet.
You're just mates?
We live together.
You live together. Okay, great. I forgive people when they hurt me.
That's definitely a 7.
7. Okay. I love and help the whānau. Family?
8. Yeah, that'll definitely be an 8. 7.
Joel, you reckon? You give him an 8 on that one. Okay, we'll give him a 7. That's as high as it goes. I'm loyal with friendships. Good with your mates.
Oh, definitely 7.
Mel? Is that true? 7? You're getting a very high score, Isaac, here, bro. I put other people first when they need me.
Oh, definitely.
7?
That's a 7.
I'm totally honest in the things I say and do.
That would have to be a 5. But then if I said that, then everything else would be lies.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So 5. Well done, because we know the liars always score 7 anyway. You know what I mean? So you passed. I thought if he says 7 now, right, he's never going to be. He's not telling the truth on all the other ones. True? Okay, so that's good. I see the best in people. 7. Okay, here's your score. Look, you got 7 9s are 63 and 5 is 68. So your score was 68. Now let me just show you this. Look, here's your ratings. 68 to 70 is angelic. So actually, according to this, you're an angelic young man. So Mel, you've got yourself a good man here. Isn't that lovely? No, not too much, guys. Don't want to have your head kissing or anything, all right? Okay. So we've asked the 10 questions. Now we've got a new skill we've got to learn, because we have to move from the 10 questions into the main gospel presentation. Well, to do that, I want you just to turn your laminate over, and you'll see the words that you've also got to memorise, that I want you to memorise to make that transition possible. So the words are on here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences here. And the little statement at the bottom that's in bold, it would be great if you could tell me what you think of this. That is called your turnover statement. Now we'll talk about more of those in a minute. Okay, this is a really, really important diagram. You just say this rectangle here represents the Christian church, and you just draw a rectangle like that on your page, and you write on here, let's say this represents the Christian church, and you write Christian church up there like that. And then you say, now the Christian church has got 2 sides to it. You draw a little down the middle, and you draw a thing across the top like that. You say on one side you've got the Catholics, and you write Catholics in there like so. And then you say on the other side of the Christian church is the Protestants, and you write Protestants in there like so. Okay? And then you say now the Catholics are just the Catholics, and they're a cool group of people, churches. But the Protestants are a bit different. They've got like Anglicans, and you write Anglicans in here like this. And then you say there's also Baptists, and you write Baptists in there like that. There's some Presbyterians. You might ask them if they know some of these churches. So do you know any more Protestant churches? Presbyterian, and so on. You just write a little tail it off there. Presbyterian churches. You might have a Methodist, because these will be ones they're probably most familiar with, and so on. Methodist church, etc. Because there's lots of churches inside the Protestant churches. There's lots of outside of the Christian church. Mormons, and you write Mormons down here, and Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, now if this circle here represented all the Catholics, and this one here was all the Anglicans, and this was all the Baptists, and this was all the Presbyterians, etc. If I drew a circle for all the churches inside the Christian church, you'd find there's a little piece here they all have in common. Now, what is that bit? Well, it's the people who are truly Christian inside the Christian church. You see, not everybody who goes to church is truly a Christian. People can sometimes go to churches because their parents go, because of fear, because of habit, for a whole lot of reasons, because they want to look good. So not everybody who goes to church is a Christian. See, God doesn't care what Christian church you go to, as long as you are the real thing inside your church. Now, non-Christians love this diagram for two reasons. One is, it explains the problem of the hypocrites, okay, which they really like to know about. Why is it that some people who go to church are just not the real thing? They know that. And also the second thing, the second reason non-church people like this diagram, this explanation, is that it shows them that you're not just trying to get them into your church and you're just scalp hunting and trying to get numbers for your church. They're saying, hey, this person's a big-hearted person. They're not interested in me just joining their church particularly. Although there's nothing wrong with them joining your church. We want them to come to church, to your church. But it just shows you that you release them to go to a church of their choice, not your choice, not your choice. And so that's a good thing in their eyes. Okay, so that's a very, very good diagram to help explain to people, about the Christian church. I've said to the Catholics, some Catholics, I said, I want you to stay in your church. Because they think, oh, this person's just after me to get me into their church to swap from being a Catholic to a Protestant. But I say, why not see the Catholic born-again person, or the Anglican person born again, or the Baptist, or the Presbyterian, or whatever, any of these people really truly born again and go back into their church as a missionary in their church. So we encourage people to learn how to do that diagram, and it'll help explain a lot of issues for non-church people. Okay, here's a really good diagram to draw for people who say, well, I've got a little bit of a problem with your interpretation here, or the 7 attitudes, or your explanation of the gospel as you work through the laminate. So we just draw a little diagram like this, and you draw a timeline that goes down the page like so, and you say, just draw a little crossbar here, and you say, this is the year 0, this is the year 0, and let's say here is the year 30 AD, and this is the year that Jesus died, and you write JUSDIED, that's about the year Jesus died down there. And then you say, up here at the very top is the year 2003, which is where we're at now. Now, between Jesus and now, there have lived in history a group of people that we call the Church Fathers. Now, these are people who have made an enormous contribution to the shape and the thinking of the Christian church over the last 2,000 years. Now, probably the best known early church father is St. Augustine. So you just put Augustine down here like this, Augustine. And Augustine is dated about the middle of his life. He's dated about 400 AD. Now, the reason we've chosen Augustine is because you have to choose people who are post 393, because in 393 at the Council of Hippo, the New Testament canon, or the Bible as we know it, was closed. In other words, it was fixed at about that point as far as we know. And so we've chosen Augustine to be there. Now, everything Augustine thought the Bible was saying, you could put into this circle here. Okay, that was his interpretation of the Bible, the fixed Bible. And then you move up about 1100 years, and you come to another church father, and his name is Martin Luther, and you write Luther in there like that, and Luther is dated about 1500, okay, and everything Luther thought the Bible was saying he'd put into that circle. Now, Luther had a contemporary, his name is Ulrich Zwingli, another church father, and everything Zwingli thought the Bible was saying he could put into that circle, okay. And then you move up about 50 years to the heavyweight church father of all time. His name was John Calvin. So you need about 4 church fathers just to make the point. And everything Calvin thought the Bible was saying, you put into that circle. Now, if you did that, if you draw a circle for all the church fathers in that period, you'd find there's a piece of that interpretation that they all had in common, they all agreed on. Now, what do we call that? Well, that's the not negotiable truths of the Christian faith that the church fathers could actually agree on. There was lots of interpretation and understanding of the Bible that they didn't agree on, and it'll always be like that, with people not agreeing entirely on what the Bible is actually saying. But there is a body of truth that they all agreed on, and what we have done with the follow-up booklet is we have taken out from that intersection set, that body of truth in the middle there, we have taken out and put it into a form that's accessible and understandable for people on the street.